Welcome to my 110 Legion update. It's been a while. I've been 110 for a while. I'm here at Dalaran on the Demon Hunter little island floating off. I'm an engineer, so they can't stop me. Those bastards. They stole Metamorphosis. I'll steal their island. But anyway, so 110. I've leveled up. I scored a legendary a couple of days ago. I had the feeling. I saw Heels versus Babyface score one on Friday night or Thursday night my time, and I just had this feeling that I was going to get one. I just had this feeling. Anyway, 18 hours later, boom. And never give up hope. Anyway, look, I leveled as an Affliction Warlock, 107 to 110. It was enjoyable. It was fun. I just wanted to get into it and talk about stats and talents. I focus on, getting my reputations up, so I've got pretty much all my reputations. This gives you gear. The Wardens I'm going to get, and I probably should have been there if I was smart enough, but instead of getting 1650 from one of the mobs, I converted into Nightfallen for 750, which probably stupid in the end. I should have just got that on it. Each of these will give you gear of varying quality. Nightfallen is probably the best gear. Depends on your class and all that stuff. Do some research, but level through all the zones. Do all the zones. I started, I think I got through the first three. I got halfway through, a quarter into High Mountain, I hit 110. Then I went here and I did all the quest chains and I got all the artifact power. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's good fun. They also have world quests. You can see this is loading up. I've got a lot of loot and gear from doing this. This is an add-on. Go do it. Look, this shows me another head for 830. I got an 840 head, but I go after resources. I've killed things. As a warlock, I can do a lot of this stuff. And also, if you do this, you get bags. So this is what I did to get my legendary. Not saying that you'll get it because it was just a random thing. So the thing is, complete 4 Dreamweavers, which are these. So Dreamweavers is here, 4 of those, and the reward is I get like an artifact power plus that bag. You open the bag up, it can have gold, it can have things, or legendary. I can't incentivize you any more than that. You'll get a legendary 895, and apparently that goes up in high level each tier set. So I'm stuck as Affliction. You've got to do these. You've got to do all these simply because. And also another thing I'll say, if you're leveling up, see these mobs. Unless you've got really shit gear, what I would do the longer you can leave these. These I've left ones that are basically not relevant to my class. Plate, mail, whatever. The longer you can leave these, the higher eye level. Now, a lot of them will do a maximum of 785, and there are a few that'll go to 800. And I think the ones that go to 800 are here, Suriname, in the Suriname region. I think killing these are 800s. Everywhere else, it's capped at 785. But it's not 785 at level 100 or 101, 102. It's all based on your level. And each zone goes to your level. So if you start here at 101, you level up to 110, you come back here, everything will be 110. Okay, so get to 110. The smart thing would be probably leave these, unless you're really struggling for gear. Leave these and come back at 110. Or as you're going along, the higher the level you get, make a judgment call and go target things. You might realise you've got 2 crap items, and you can see you can go kill a couple of these bosses here. I'm using handy notes to show me where all the gear is, and these are artificial power, farm, drop. You'll gain levels. That's how I've done it to get to where I am. Well, not where these dropped. But very quickly, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the stats. To me, I played Affliction Warlock. I have been. What drew me to the Warlock was the demonology spec, big foul guard, all that magic stuff. That was the thing. I've leveled back in the old days in Burning Crusade back in 2008 when getting, leveling from 30 to 40 was like a battle, And then you're a warlock, as an Affliction drain tanking warlock. I used to just, back then when quests weren't really as good as they are nowadays, it was all about grinding to 60. And I had add-ons that tell me how much XP an hour I was getting. So I do the questing. Of course, I put them both together as much as possible, but then I worked out that there were some places I could go and I could generate, geez, I'll pull that number out of my head, 1 million XP an hour, whereas by doing questing I was getting 500,000 or 3/4. The difference was that questing, the grinding was, you know, it was like a real job, but as an Affliction drain tank, my dots hurt a lot, had my own tank, self-heal, it's too easy. Raiding or dungeoning, you swap between Destruction and Affliction. Back then, Affliction and Destruction had both had good AoE, Rain of Fire for Destruction, and Seed of Doom for Affliction. I remember Naxxramas back in Wrath of the Lich King, being in one of the rooms where I think it was all the spiders and all the undead dudes. Just watching that go off and watching it, you know, just doing a tremendous amount of AoE damage. It was fantastic. Getting back to Legion, what I do in a dungeon, I'm looking for consistency and stuff I can plan on. This takes too long to ramp up. This has its benefits, but again, you think about the damage it does versus the amount of damage you can do here, plus you drain something down, you kill it, you get a soul shard. That's what I need to do more DPS. I need more soul shards. So here's a guarantee. Get mobs down to low life, finish them off with that, I've got a soul shard. That feeds everything else. Absolute Corruption, permanently dotted, extra 25% damage, sow the seeds in conjunction with that, and pardon me, and Seed of Corruption, puts a corruption dot on everything now permanently, and it's 25% extra damage. So potentially in pulls and fights and trash, in one action, you could have everything dotted up, and all you're worried about is putting agony on everything, or draining it down and getting more soul shards. You know, the Dobbs Jar will just recast and you're Seeded Corruption again. Demon Skin, unless you're PvPing, or actually Demon Skin's pro, there's no argument. There is, going forward, if we get a three baseline soul shards, this has potential. This always has potential. This has potential too. But this is just, this with that, and this ability effectively, to me, a no-brainer in a short fighting dungeon run. Situational, again, same again, Siphon Life. I thought that might add to my single target damage. It's just a slow dot that ticks over 15 seconds. The key thing here is, you know, Dark Pack, forget about it, that's a joke. That has potential in some scenarios, probably mostly PvP. Supremacy didn't work for me. This is great for sole single targets, but you are missing out on this by, because everything you hit with, you're getting an AoE pulse of 15 or 17k damage to enemies, and that can just add up very quickly if you're multi-dotting. Down here, this is Phantom, is an AoE very powerful dot. It's doing 300k damage over 13 seconds. All right, single target 173 over 14, and 191 over 18 seconds, and that's an AoE dot. So if you've got a great mobs, you effectively could say focus on one target, put these dots up, drop your Seed of Corruption on there, drop your Phantom Sing onto it, and watch that all explode. And then as that's all exploding, put your agony on the rest of it, then start soul draining down the rest. You've got an endless supply of soul shards, and you've got massive DPS. That has potential in single target fights, and also that as well by getting, you know, refreshed. For me, I've got a legendary that says if I'm casting Unstable Affliction, I have a 25% chance to get a soul shard refunded, probably once, or I let it drop off and cast it again. I'm presuming that's, you know, at first moment I thought that meant I had unlimited stable afflictions. I was about to wet myself, but I've got the impression is that if I cast it on a target that's got unstable affliction already, I can only get one shard back. If I cast it on another 3 targets, potentially I can get 3 back, or 25% chance to get 3 back. I'm not sure if I let it drop off and then cast again, that it resets that 25%. So that's something I'll have to test. In conjunction with that, that could be very good, potentially very good return back. So I've got that to play with. Affliction is very flexible. It's very good for movement. I can move. The thing in some dungeons is now some tanks are getting quite geared. I can run with them, I can keep up with them, I can throw the gear out. I've had no problems being #1 DPS in AoE, and I've you can see the last couple of videos, there's at least 2 or 3 bosses. Not every fight that I end up being number 1. Not every fight. There are other fights. There are some fights where I'm just taking my, I'm not trying, and then there's other fights that I'm just playing the spec and it's delivering. Okay? Affliction's all good. Leveling up, Affliction, your goals of Affliction, where possible, based on your tank. Obviously you level with your Void Walker, or if you're rich enough, you can have one of those. Void Lord. Round the mobs up, whether you can only handle 4, if you can handle 6, you can have, the more you can round up, he will take the aggro. You've got to watch his life, and you're going to have to swap between healing, keeping him healed up. But while that's happening, I will drop Phantom, AoE dot, tremendous amount of damage, but also you've then casting your Seed of Corruption. That explodes, putting multiple explosions, putting a buffed 25% damage corruption dot on everything. If everything hasn't died by then, you can then start putting agony on everything. But honestly, what'll probably happen, it's probably faster to just switch to Drain Soul and start draining Soul so that you start filling up with Soul Shards. And if things are still standing, pump out more of those, or pump out your Unstable Affliction. Always think of Unstable Affliction as a double dot or triple dot, because simply just picking on Agony and Corruption, they're delivering damage over 14 seconds to 18 seconds at 190 to 170, whereas Unstable Affliction's only lasting 7 seconds, but it's delivering 180 damage. So in half the time, it's doing double the damage. So it only lasts half as long, but it's doing double the damage that he's doing over 18, which is nearly 3 times more, and it's double that. Okay, 173 damage over 14 seconds, and that's 180 damage over 7 seconds. So you can see that's effectively 2 corruptions. The problem is you need Soul Shards. So